Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the WeSportin Podcast. And today we're going to be doing our very own mock draft. This is going to be our first mock draft. Obviously, this is not going to be as accurate as it will be in like the end of February or beginning of March, middle of March, whenever the draft is. I believe the draft's in April. So there's going to be like maybe 3, 4, 5 episodes of just straight mock drafts. So this will be the first one. If you guys remember last year it was a big hit last year. You guys seem to love the mock draft a lot. So we're bringing it back again this year. We're going to be using PFF that Dylan will be streaming with. And we have a special guest today and a returning guest per usual, Mr. Kevin Cohn, a.k.a. BroadSports, Eagles fan, whatever you want to call him. I don't know at this point. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing phenomenal, as this video was literally planned in under 15 minutes.
By me, I must add.
15 minutes.
Literally.
I literally called Nico and I'm like, hey, you want to do a mock in like 20 minutes? And he's like, okay.
Dylan is a draft. Dylan's literally a draft nerd. When this kid, I'm telling you, watches more pro days than I do. I only watch pro days.
Pro days aren't out yet.
Yeah, I know, but this is gonna be our first. This is gonna be a little bit, rocky.
This is an early mock. Pro days, we're gonna make this move.
So we're gonna give
one guy who's gonna.
We're gonna give our predictions, and then we're gonna do PFF, and then we're gonna have to come to an accumulative what they really need at the end, right? That's what we're doing basically. We're gonna give our own if we agree, disagree. All right. So without further ado, Mr. Dylan Walker, would you like to screen share?
You see it?
Yes. Okay, here we go. I'll do a little cut to that. But all right, so obviously with the first overall pick, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, this team needs everything. Almost everything except
I have picks. Okay.
How about this? We'll go with this. We'll go Dylan, myself, and then Kevin Cohn, you'll finish it off with each pick. Let's try to keep everything within like 30 seconds of talking.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, sweet.
All right.
Dylan, let's hear who you have.
Kayvon Thibodeau is going to the Jaguars. All right. And here's the reasons. Here you're going for traits. Evan Neal doesn't really make sense here, a little too high. Kyle Hamilton is a safety. You just don't really want to take a safety number one, even though he's a great prospect. Mm-hmm. Kayvon Thibodeau versus Aiden Hutchinson is a big debate this year. Aiden Hutchinson's going to probably be better this year, but Kayvon Thibodeau has the traits. Reminds me a lot of Myles Garrett coming out of A&M. It just makes sense to me. You have him, you have Josh Allen, you have Myles Jack. You're rebuilding that defense. You already have Lawrence. Obviously, tackles could help, but having that generational type traits, freakishly athletic edge is just so helpful. I think you go Thibodeau here. He's the best prospect in the draft.
Yeah. You know what we're gonna do is we're gonna all have one pick, and we're gonna do what we did last year. We're gonna just explain it. So every other pick, so like Dylan gets.
No, don't do that. Just go each by one.
Okay. My pick's gonna be Evan Neal. Here's the thing though, is that I'm not a fan of Evan Neal. I don't think an offensive lineman should ever go number one in an NFL draft at all whatsoever. I don't care. I don't care if you're generational talent or not. The only time I'll ever say that someone was generational talent was Penei Sewell, and he was not even regarded to be the number one pick. He at some point was, but was not. Evan Neal is obviously the clear-cut pick here. Obviously, they could go literally defense and anything, but the reason why protect Lawrence, make sure he's okay. We don't need to have that poor man be sacked, injured, wounded, and whatnot. Just please protect him. Just give him Evan Neal. This is a deep defensive draft. You can find prospects later on, but Evan Neal is going to be your solid pickup at number one.
All right. What about Broad?
Broad,
I agree with you, Dylan. I have Kayvon Thibodeau. I think they want to address the defensive side of the ball, or they should address the defensive side of the ball first. Their pass rushing was really not that great last year. But I disagree with what you said about generational talent with Penei Sewell. When I think of generational talent that came out of the draft from the offensive tackle position, I think of Orlando Pace. He's the first person I think of.
Mm-hmm. That's fair, but you do have to remember Penei Sewell in a lot of people's mock drafts was number one.
Well, no one took him over Lawrence. Oh no, not my bad. All right, let's go Thibodeau here. All right,
that's fine. Again, guys, we're going to go off of, say, for instance, Dylan and Broad disagree with what I say. They're going to pick the right one. This is not like a fighting or debating type of episode. So yeah, Lions.
The Lions are interesting, and here is where I have my first trade, and it makes the most sense to any trade out of me. All right, I know 2's a weird spot, but it's an easy jump. I'm not going to do the trade on here. You just got to let's do it. The Jets trade up and take Aiden Hutchinson. Okay. Robert Saleh, what he did with the 49ers, loves his big pass rushers. Hutchinson fits. Do the Lions need an edge here? No. You have stuff you need. But if you can get maybe a second, and still go back to 4, in my opinion, to draft someone who we'll get to in a minute. I think you get Aiden Hutchinson here for the Jets. You get that pass rusher, and give up probably a second in your 4th for this. And then you get Aiden Hutchinson. I think it makes sense with Robert Saleh. And I think it makes sense for the Lions because there's not somebody here who I think you need.
Mm-hmm. All right, not bad. A trade off the back that's actually kind of shocking. Now, second, but you did say before we started recording, I have a lot of trades, and I was like,
yeah,
okay.
I have a ton of trades.
So now Lions here, you know what? Rebuild the defense. I got Kayvon Thibodeau going hit this pick right here. Obviously, I know they have Trey Flowers there, and obviously you have a veteran in Trey Flowers who can help out Kayvon Thibodeau from the, on both edges of the, side of the defense. Their defense, honestly, if we're going to go off this season, the Lions, and me and Broad, I think, said this multiple times on a bunch of lives before, the Lions are the worst, best team we've ever seen ever. This team, honestly, plays games close. It's like they can win these games, but they just need the roster to win the games. And I say if you get a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau, I'm not saying he'll immediately change the defense or change the culture, but he will be the leading direction to where they need to go in the next couple of years. I will take Kayvon.
Right.
Yeah, here I have Aiden Hutchinson. I do think that they need to address the defensive side of the ball. But what you said about the Lions also kind of reminds me, and I know Dylan's going to hate that I'm bringing up one of their division rivals, but the 2016 Jacksonville Jaguars. And I'll explain why. Yes, they went 3-13, but I believe 11 of 13 or all 13 losses were by 7 points or less.
Yeah.
So sometimes,
they never got blown out in a game. They just weren't that good to finish them.
So me and Broad both agree Aiden goes here just to different teams, right?
Yes.
So we'll send Aiden here. Obviously, at the Lions moving back, but we'll see here. All right. Now, this is an interesting pick.
Just go.
The Texans are interesting. I'm going to go first. I have Evan Neal going here. You have Laramie Tunsil. You have Davis Mills, right? Mills makes sense. Why draft a safety third overall pick? Doesn't make sense for that team. You now have Laramie and Evan Neal, and you have, if Evan Neal pans out, right, he's your starting right tackle for the next decade. Laramie Tunsil is not old. So you have 2 very good tackles to complement Davis Mills, who is not mobile. Mm-hmm. It makes sense for me. You just shored up your tackles for the next 10 years, at least 8.
Okay.
Evan Neal makes sense, especially considering they have a pick. Well, they don't have a pick right now, but they have, I think they have another first round pick. No, they don't. Okay, anyway. Evan Neal makes sense here to me.
Okay. My pick for this is I was going to switch it up and be different, but then I realized how the way my mock draft goes, it's not going to work out. I have Aiden Hutchinson going here. I'm not very highly, how can I say this? I'm not really high up on Aiden Hutchinson's hype here. I think he peaked one season in college, and that's what people are going to go off of. His whole college career, he was about, mid to a little bit above average, but he was never what he was until this season. I'd have to see more production at the level that he's playing at to give him like, oh, he's going to go here. He's going to be phenomenal. But Aiden Hutchinson, I mean, I got to put him here at 3 just because he's Aiden Hutchinson. I can't have him fall anymore, but I'm going to say Houston gets Aiden Hutchinson to build up that defense, and they can potentially find, the next JJ Watt in this draft for them, which would be Aiden Hutchinson. But like I said, I'm not too high on him personally.
All right, Brian.
And here for me, I have Kyle Hamilton going to Houston. I think that they want to build up that secondary. Because also the thing is, yes, Evan Neal played both right and left tackle at Alabama, but this whole season, he played left tackle. He has not played right tackle since the 2021 National Championship game against Ohio State. Yes, he is that generational talent-esque where he can play on both sides, which is very hard for tackles to do. I would know from personal experience. But I just think that they want to build up their secondary, and they go with Kyle Hamilton here.
All right, so who are we going to pick here?
I don't know. We said 3 different people, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm not doing this against you guys. I'm just going to pick Evan because it's easier for me to visualize, but everyone had different picks here. Just remember who you took. All right. Next.
Man, I was going to say the same thing you were.
Everyone has Kyle Hamilton going there, which is why this is weird. Lions in my mock trade back to 4 and then take Kyle Hamilton.
God, this is all so fun.
Lions take Kyle Hamilton. arguably the best prospect in the draft, but he's at a very less valuable position, so you're not going to see him go in one. Oh, that's all blurry right now.
All right, let's see.
I think Kyle Hamilton makes sense.
All right, who do you have going in the New York Jets?
So did you listen to what I just said?
I'm sorry?
Oh, you got to listen to me. The Jets trade back.
Okay.
Did you hear me?
Yes, they trade back.
No, not the Jets. Sorry, the Lions, again, in my mock draft at 2, traded back with the Jets. All right, so the Lions take Kyle Hamilton. The Jets get Aiden Hutchinson.
Go, got it. Okay.
So glad you get it. Okay, so the Lions end up with Kyle Hamilton.
Okay, so you already said who you're going to take. Okay. So for the Jets here, I have the Jets taking Kyle Hamilton. I think Kyle Hamilton might, honest to God, be is the best player in this draft, and I will stand by that. I think he's absolutely phenomenal. He is a phenomenal safety, a very hybrid safety. He's a different form of Jamal Adams for the Jets, and obviously we all know how Jets love drafting safeties, apparently in the top 5. But Kyle Hamilton to me is to me the best player in this draft, and if he goes to the Jets have have that secondary looking beautiful for the next 5, 10, 15, however many years Kyle Hamilton plays for them. I mean, he will be a game changer on defense for them easily.
For sure.
From the get-go.
What about you, bro?
Well, I mean, I had Kyle Hamilton going to Houston. So right here, I had the Jets actually addressing the edge position and picking George Karlaftis from
Purdue. That's a reach. Oh, boy.
From Purdue?
Yes.
Oh, I'd love
That's a big reach.
I'd love to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to know why. Why George Karlaftis?
Well, I mean, both of the top edge prospects are gone in Thibodeau and Hutchinson. And I've watched a lot of Karlaftis' tape, watching a lot of Big Ten football games. I honestly think he's a very underrated prospect in this year's draft. I think he's got a very good technique, especially getting off the ball and his hand skills. I just think that he would be a perfect fit for the Jets.
It's not like it's a bad pick. I mean, there's going to be reach.
I just feel like if they're going to take Karlaftis, you trade back.
I've seen it's the Jets
with Karlaftis going into 20s. That's why I'm shocked that he went up here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad pickup.
So we both said Kyle Hamilton, right, Nico?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to stop the trades for me because it's going to be really hard to keep up with this.
Now the next team is the New York Giants. Well, me and Broad are probably going to pick the worst player at each position and just throw them in there. All right, Dylan,
I'll let you guys go first.
All right, I have 2 people I think could go here.
Okay.
But I am going to look for just a second, make sure I don't go anybody wrong here. Yeah, I am going to go Akeem from North Carolina State. I'm not positive how to say his last name, so I don't want to butcher it. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go Akeem out of North Carolina State. The reason I do this is I think he is the second best tackle prospect in the draft. I do like him more than Charles Cross at Mississippi State. You have Andrew Thomas, and then your whole other line in New York is garbage. You have Daniel Jones, who's shown flashes, whether you two NFC East fans want to admit it or not. He's shown flashes. Give him a year. Give him the O-line. You're going to have to build the O-line regardless. Even if you get the most mobile quarterback ever, you're going to have to get you have to get some perfection on the tackles. We saw what happened to Burrow. All right?
Right.
Get O-line. Help Daniel Jones. I'm going Akeem out of North Carolina State.
Yeah, so this pick here, I got tackle, but I actually have different from you. I have Charles Cross, and reason being is, I mean, I feel like at this pick, the Giants can't go wrong here. They just have to make sure they pick one of them. That's like the only thing that they can't mess up on. I think Charles Cross to me is more of a run blocker type of guy. I mean, that's from some of the film I've looked at. He'll be a guy to really help out Saquon, which they look onto very heavily when they want to do those check down routes or they want to go through the, run up the middle with Saquon. He'll be the guy that they want to have, Saquon run towards each time that he runs that football. And I mean, I like Charles Cross a lot. I'm actually a really big fan of him. He's one of my favorites in this draft personally. So I have the Giants taking Charles Cross.
All right, Brock.
For me, I also have Ike Ekwonu.
Are we all going to agree on one pick at all?
I don't know yet.
All right. Next.
This is where you guys are probably going to hate me.
Next, Panthers. Now, in my actual mock, I did have the Panthers trading to the Houston Texans for Deshaun Watson. I think it's a perfect spot for them because the Panthers don't really need this pick, but I'm not going to do trades anymore. So
Dylan playing franchise mode in this draft.
I just think it makes sense, right? So I think if you get Watson to the Panthers for a first round pick in CMC, it makes sense. Anyway, but we're not going to do that trade. Now for the Panthers, I think you can pretty much go anywhere here other than wide receiver. It makes sense. Okay. So I will go, I think, Charles Cross here out of Mississippi State, because again, their whole line is just not that good. Again, with the Panthers, you can go anywhere but wide receiver and corner, and you're probably good. So I'm going to go Charles Cross out of Mississippi State.
Yeah, with my next pick here, I got Akeem Ukuwanu out of NC State, I believe. Like Dylan basically said it most. I mean, honestly, if we're gonna look at it, if we're looking at the way PFF will grade it and all that, he's the second best tackle in this draft so far. And you know he'll be good for Carolina. I mean, Crosser Akeem was going to be good for Carolina. So you can go either way here, but they desperately need O-line. That's a team that like underratedly like needs O-line.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So you're not gonna like what I'm about to say, but realistically, I could see a team like the Steelers trying to trade for either 6 or 7.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But looking at their needs, there is rumors that they're going to move on from Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
And here, again, I don't know if I'm going to have the Steelers trading with them or not. I have the Panthers drafting Kenny Pickett.
Broad made it entertaining.
No. I don't think any quarterback in this draft should go top 10. I do have a quarterback. My first quarterback goes off the board at 11.
If Chris was in here right now, he'd tell you, he'd be like, you're a moron, boy.
Kenny Pickett. I don't like Kenny Pickett. I think in Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett will be horrible. But that's not the point right now.
All right,
okay.
So
we all had different players. Again, I'm just going to go Cross.
He said Cross or Equonu, so just put Cross.
Yeah. All right.
Now, next is the Giants again. This is from Chicago, from the Justin Fields draft pick last
year. This is a weird pick here, and I said it in the group chat. I don't know if you saw it. It makes sense to me, and it makes sense for the Giants. I have Tyler Linderbaum out of Iowa going to the Giants at 7. Is he a slight reach? Sure, but he is the best O-lineman in this draft. I don't care. He is the best O-lineman in this draft. He's a great run blocker, and in the first top 10 picks, you have made your O-line go from absolute garbage to probably top 15. Tyler Linderbaum is a guy that reminds you a lot of the Creed Humphrey from last year, where he could seriously come in and become a top 5 center in the first year. Mm-hmm. He is such a good run blocker. So the reason I had Akeem going to the Giants because he's a better pass blocker, so that helps Daniel Jones, and now you get a guy who can help Saquon. I think that makes sense to me. You get kind of a mix because you don't want straight up 5 straight run blockers or 5 straight pass blockers. I have Tyler Linderbaum from Iowa going to the Giants.
Well, for my Giants pick, I have a different position. I have Devin Lloyd, linebacker. I will, and here's why. Blake Martinez is coming off of an injury that took him out for almost the entirety of the year this year for the Giants. If the Giants need anything in this year's draft, it's going to be anything position area from offensive tackle, offensive lineman in general, and a linebacker. Their linebacker core in recent years have not been that good. Yes, Tate Crowder has shown flashes for them, but it ain't anything special. I think Devin Lloyd here would be an absolute phenomenal pick for them. I mean, and I'm talking as a Washington fan. I say Devin Lloyd would be a phenomenal pick. I mean, he's a great player, and I could see him being really good on the Giants, honestly.
Hey, Broad.
Here, I have another edge guy going that a lot of people have not talked about. That is Jermaine Johnson from Florida State.
Okay.
He's not bad. I have him in my first round mock draft.
He should go in the first, but
I don't know where. Oh, I have him going to Buffalo.
I mean, I've been using the draft network, so their rankings are like significantly different from Pro Football Focus, but just saying.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I like him. He's decent.
Yeah, I actually have him as 4th. I don't like Karlaftis, but I do like Ajabu a lot. So that makes
this Falcons pick we're gonna disagree
so we all have different people.
This Falcons pick we're gonna disagree on. This next pick will be
probably. I'm just gonna go Linderbaum, but whatever. Okay, Falcons.
Who do you have?
I have Derek Stingley Jr. All right.
Okay, never mind.
All right, so everybody agrees on this? I saw Broad say yes to it. Does everybody agree on Derek Stingley?
Yeah, I have Stingley.
Oh, okay, cool. I think you have Terrell. You run a lot of cover 0 because your D-line is so bad. You need 2 corners who can just get up in your face and play good defense on press. Terrell can already do that. You get Stingley, who should be a very good corner in this league. And then you adjust address edge later in the draft. If it goes Broad's way, there is no edge here. Even my way, I don't think you take any of these edges at 8. I think if you do, it has to be Ojabo. But even then, I don't think any edge left at my mock is worth the 8th overall pick.
Yeah.
So I think Stingley makes the most sense with him and Terrell. You have probably the best. You have a very good corner duo for the next probably 10, 15 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Nah, yeah. So next one would be the Denver Broncos. This is an interesting one.
All right. So
let me guess. Hold on. Incoming franchise Dylan Walker trade.
And here you go.
No.
Oh my God. No. No.
I'm joking. Kenny Pickett.
No.
Denver needs a quarterback.
No.
I don't like Pickett. I think Pickett's going to suck in Denver. But it makes sense for Denver. You need a quarterback, and the hype train for Pickett is kind of like Wilson last year. I think he's going to have a very good pro day for some weird reason. But we can't tell to the pro day. But I think they're going to fall in love with Pickett. They're going to take Pickett in Denver. He's going to suck in Denver because the weather. But let's go Pickett.
All right. Well, with the Broncos pick here, I actually have David Ojabo going here. I have David Ojabo going into Denver. Here's my thing. Bradley Chubb has had a lot of injury concerns in his career so far. Why not pair him up with a young guy like David Ojabo, and they can have what they have between when Von Miller and who else did they have at that other linebacker position when Von was in his prime? Could you guys remember? It was Ware, wasn't it? DeMarcus Ware, maybe, but DeMarcus Ware was there for like a year.
No, it wasn't Ware. It was somebody else. I know who you're talking about, but it was really Von Miller's prime, just going crazy.
Yeah, and I think Denver, the culture there is that their linebackers are always really good. Their edge rushers are really phenomenal, and I would love to see David Ojabo and Bradley Chubb just absolutely. I mean, that would make that Denver defense not only elite and scary, but it would also make their run defense a lot better too, in which Ojabo could really help Chubb, because I know Chubb, like I said, he's been injured a lot, so have a guy
when he's on the field, he's a very good player.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm meaning healthy concerns that would be a scary linebacker duo. So Ojabo, I have Ojabo here.
All right, what about you, Brock?
And here at least on my mock draft, this is where I have Evan Neal going.
Oh, wow! I forgot he hasn't been taken on yours yet. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I also did see another mock with a safety going here because how much quarters they run, but I don't see any safety going 9.
So are we just going to put Pickett there?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, guys, we're just going to do what we think, and then Dylan will just put down whatever.
Obviously, pro day is going to determine a lot of this, but
I'm intrigued on what you guys have here.
This is a weird
I have a hot one.
I think I do too.
The Jets are weird. I already have them taken. I already had them taking Kyle Hampton. Okay.
And
the Jets are weird picks. So I'm weird on this pick. I already gave you a tackle. No, what did I give you? I gave you Hutchinson. Okay. So I gave you Hutchinson. I think now is where George goes because Shaq Lawson may not be coming back. I think it's a good fit. Now in the first draft, I know this seems crazy that you just took the probably second, third best edge rusher in the class. But if these guys both pan out, you have just phenomenal, and your pass rush is not good anyway. So you probably need to spend 2 first-round picks on edge.
So we just have the same guy going to the same team, just different picks.
Yeah. So I'm going to go George Karlaftis here. Nico.
Mine's a little bit of surprise, and it might be a little bit of a reach. But I have Jordan Davis, defensive tackle.
Mine's even more of a reach, bro. Don't you worry.
I got him going here. Why not?
Dog. I don't have him going here.
Why not pair up Jordan Davis and Quinnen Williams together on that D line? I mean, that would absolutely be phenomenal for them. I mean, they have a chance to have a possible better in a stacked D line than almost half the NFL teams with already having Quinnen Williams, and they're gonna have and if they get Jordan Davis, and if they re-sign Shaq Lawson, that D line would be scary.
I think the pure fact why they don't do that is because Jordan Davis is a pure run stopper. That's what he's going to do the best. I think he's going to come in and be a very good run defending defensive tackle. I don't think what you're looking for with the Jets right now is run defense. I think you need pass rush.
Yeah, but Jordan Davis, I'm just saying, it's not like it's a crazy pick, but
okay, go. Broad.
All right, so this one, I know you two probably Nico may like this pick because it is his favorite college team, but here, actually, at number 10.
Did you say Garrett Wilson?
Garrett Wilson.
Yes, I am. I have him drafting Garrett Wilson. I think that they should grab a guy to complement Elijah Moore and Corey Davis.
Yeah.
Because Barrios, really, he's not a good receiver. He's more known for his special teams work in kickoffs and punt returns.
Right.
I think you need another true third wide receiver. And I think Wilson is probably the best one in this draft. So why not draft him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a pick at all. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The best team in the NFC East.
All right, so I have a very big prediction for this. Back to franchise mode, all right? I think Washington
they're trading with the Raiders to get Derek Carr.
No. I think Pittsburgh Steelers move up to Washington pick. Here's why. You already talked about Pittsburgh moving up. I don't think they're going to move to 6. That's a lot of capital to give up. But 11 makes sense, right? If you're Pittsburgh. Now, Kenny Pickett's already off the board for me. If you're Washington, everyone knows Washington's looking at quarterbacks. I think you use the leverage of a quarterback, say, kind of get the news out there, because this happens all the time. Get the news out there that you're looking at quarterbacks. You get a team like Pittsburgh who needs one probably more than you guys do. And they're going to fall in love with somebody. And I think that somebody's Malik Willis. I think they're going to fall in love with him after his pro day or something. They're just going to fall in love with him. They're going to see how he tested, just love him. And they're going to trade up with Washington. Washington's going to move down. And
this is all a part of the Russell Wilson deal. I love it.
They're not getting Wilson. But I think Pittsburgh trades up and gets Malik Willis here. I think it just makes sense for both teams. I think Washington can use the leverage of saying they want a quarterback, and Pittsburgh's going to fall in love, whether it's Malik, whether it's Corral, whoever. Someone they're going to love, and they're going to want to trade up for you guys.
Yeah, so Commanders here, I have us taking Mr. Kenny Pickett. Obviously, with how you said his arm talent is awful. Now, obviously,
no, Pickett's arm talent isn't awful.
I know, but his hands and everything. The only thing is that this pick right here, I'm going to tell you guys now, if I had more time to make this list, I would not have this pick here. I honestly would have this pick gone, and I would have Seattle having this pick right here, just because I think Wilson will get traded to Seattle, to Washington. But right now, on my draft board, I'm in love with Kenny Pickett, and I want Kenny Pickett on Washington. But obviously, that could change in the second or third mock draft.
All right, Broad.
This is interesting.
I have Malik Willis.
Oh, hell no.
We both have Malik, just in different teams. Again, okay.
I have Malik in Washington.
Again, okay. It's not like I don't hate Malik. It's this, like I said, this quarterback draft class is so bad. But
Malik makes more sense in Washington because I think Malik he has to sit 1 year, probably should sit 2. In Pittsburgh, unless you sign a veteran like Fitzpatrick or Garoppolo for a year or 2, it doesn't really make sense. Anyway, now the Minnesota Vikings. I here have an edge. I have David Ajabu out of Michigan going to the Vikings. You have Daniil Hunter. Is Ajabu ever going to be an elite pass rusher? Probably not. But I think he's kind of like Epinesa from 2 years ago, where he's going to come in and produce. He's going to be good, right? He's not going to be a stud, but he's going to be pretty good. Yeah. You already have Daniil Hunter, so you don't need that. But I think how most defenses are built nowadays, actually, almost all defenses are built nowadays, you build the front 4 up, and then you build behind them. You don't do the reverse. I see a lot of people building a corner and then going down. You build up because that's going to have the best defensive production. So I'm going David Ajabu out of Michigan to the Minnesota Vikings.
All right. Next one. This one right here, I have Mr. Sauce Gardner. Gardner out of Cincinnati. That secondary for them, it's just getting older, and their corners are awful. Patrick Peterson is a washed veteran that was basically working on limb to limb there, just trying to play a full season. I got Sauce Gardner here. Hold on, I'm gonna cut this real quick in the editing. We have only 9 minutes left.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to restart.
Yeah, we're gonna have to restart this, Broad, if that's okay with you.
All
right. Wait till it runs out, obviously.
And okay. So yeah, I have Sauce Gardner. Broad, who do you have?
Sauce Gardner.
Oh, okay. So you guys both have them.
Finally, we agree. It only took 12 picks.
God,
it only took.
No,
12.
we all unanimously agreed.
Who'd you pick?
I picked David Ajabu out of Michigan.
Oh yeah, shoot, that's right. My brain.
All right, the Browns. This is a lock for me. Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State.
What?
Garrett Wilson is going to the Browns.
Oh, holy shit! I agree with you too.
I don't think Wilson gets taken ahead of this to the Jets. He could, but I don't think he will. The Browns are going to draft a wide receiver. It's just the best one available, and I think the best one available is Garrett Wilson. If Wilson's gone, Olave or Jameson Williams could go here, but since he's not, the Browns are taking a wide receiver, and it's Garrett Wilson, in my opinion. He's in
All right,
Ohio,
bro.
too.
All right, bro. Who do you have?
I have Jordan Davis.
Okay, not a wide receiver. Nico.
I already said I had the same one as you.
Oh, yeah, it's Garrett. Okay.
I have Garrett. All right, and now the Baltimore Ravens, baby.
Baltimore.
This is a weird pick.
I already know who I got here. So
The guy that I have was already picked on this board.
Who'd you have?
For the Ravens, I have Linderbaum going here.
Oh,
they do need O-line
Okay.
help too.
so you have Linderbaum. Nico, who do you have? I'm thinking.
I have Broad's 4th overall pick. George Karlaftis. Edge.
Interesting. I'm thinking of who I want here because I'm weird with this pick. They could go wide receiver, but I don't think they will. DB is a question because how much injuries they've had with Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters this year.
Yeah, but DB's like more of a. They could get DB in the 2nd round though.
Yeah. I'm really weird about this pick. I'm just gonna go. I think what makes sense is whoever's left. I'm not gonna say a name. Just whichever the best edge left is. I'm just gonna go Trayvon Walker. Whoever the best edge left is goes to Baltimore. I don't know who, but I think it's gonna be an edge. I'm gonna go Trayvon Walker here, but it could be Jermaine Johnson. I don't know. But I think an edge makes the most sense to Baltimore.
I say we should let Broad go first with the 15th and 16th and 19th. God, you greedy people.
Oh, yeah. All right, so you guys all had different. Okay, I'm gonna go
Was one not enough for you? Did you need 2 more just to have fun?
Broad. Who is the Philadelphia Eagles taking?
For me right here, I have Ajabo.
Okay.
Interesting.
Nico?
I have Tyler Linderbaum.
That's a far.
No.
I'm gonna go with who I've seen go a lot. I've seen a lot of people go, but since you have back-to-back, I'm just gonna pick one of them. I've seen so many picks of the Eagles getting to Kobe Dean. So many. So I'm gonna go to Kobe Dean here. He could go 16. He could even go 19, but I'll go into Kobe Dean here. But Broad, who'd you pick? I'll take your guy. You said Ojabu, right?
Yeah.
God,
All right.
1 was not enough for you. You needed 3 just to be
at 16, as you mentioned, Nakobe Dean.
All right, so we're gonna no Nico. Who do you have? I'm just putting Kobe Dean here, but who do you have?
I have. This is shocking. I have Drake London, wide receiver. Wide
I'm not
receiver.
shocked.
Severely disagree. I think
You want
Olave
Trey? You want
Johnson would go. I think Olave
Olave to me is a day 2 guy. It's just me though. It's just I'm an Ohio State guy, and I think Chris Olave is a day 2 guy, and I love him a lot. I just know this. Alrighty, so guys, we had to cut the clip here real quick because we had to change some stuff up though. So now we're back though, and if Dylan is ready, he will screen share.
He frozen for you too. All right, Nico, you ready?
All right, let's do it. Okay, all right, let's do it. Let's just show it. Go for it.
All right. Everyone can see it, right? Is it up?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. With me, I think this is a clear cut pick for me. If he's still here, I have Jordan Davis going to the Chargers. Their run defense was horrible last year. He's the best run defender in the draft. It makes perfect sense to me for Jordan Davis to end up in a Chargers uniform next year. Nico?
Yeah, so we have the Chargers here. For the Chargers, I actually have Treylon Burks, wide receiver, Arkansas. Mike Williams is a free agent. I could see him leaving because he wants that number 1 contract money. Give me Treylon Burks.
And on my mock draft, but he's off the board.
Oh, this is lagging really bad.
It is obviously all right. Saints.
I'll go first.
A weird pick.
Nico said that this guy was going to be a day 2 guy, but I have Chris Olave going here.
Oh, that's an interesting pick. I'm just gonna look up positions to see if anybody I fall in love with. Quarterback could make sense. I don't think you retain Winston this year, but what quarterback that fits that? I don't think so. Olave, but I'm gonna go with Olave. I wasn't originally having him here, but Olave makes a lot of sense to me now that you said it. I didn't even think about him here, but Olave to New Orleans makes a lot of sense. Nico?
New Orleans, Matt Corral, quarterback. I say Matt Corral goes to New Orleans. I say Jameis Winston walks, and I say they give Matt Corral the starting chance next year, or they keep Winston to sit behind.
I don't disagree with what you just said.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. He was probably I think that's who I actually had my mock. It was a quarterback. I just don't remember which quarterback. All right. So Eagles, Broad, you can go first. I've heard a lot of rumors about Treylon to the Eagles, but let's hear it.
I do not have Treylon Burks going to the Eagles. I think we need some secondary help, specifically in the safety position. And I have the Eagles drafting Jaquan Brisker from Penn State.
Okay. Nico.
Eagles, third. I have Andrew Booth Jr. cornerback. I say Steven Nelson walks in free agency. I give Andrew Booth this position right here. Him and Darius Slay have a guy a veteran corner like Slay himself, be paired up with Booth. I think Booth will be a lockdown cornerback, and I would love to see Booth and Slay. And I'm a Washington fan, but I think that'd be a pretty cool duo to watch.
Wait, Broad, who do you have?
I have Jaquan Brisker.
Positioning?
I mean, I'm a Penn State fan. I watched a lot of his tape this year. He's a very good safety. And I think the Eagles, we need a lot of safety help because Rodney McLeod's getting up there in age. Kayvon Wallace, unfortunately, he's good when he's on the field, but he just cannot stay healthy right now. So I think Jaquan Brisker would be.
So according to PFF, this is about a 20-pick reach, but we'll go, since Broad's the Eagles fan, we're going to go Jaquan Brisker here. Now, again, in my mock, if you guys remember, I had Washington trading back here, and I hate this pick for you guys because I think he's going to be perfect comparison for
I would rather have Mitchell Trubisky if that's who you're going to pick.
Sam Howell goes to Washington. I feel like he fits what they're looking for, but he's going to be like Baker. I think he's going to be decent. I think he has the safest floor. I think he's probably the best floor guy, but I think his potential isn't top 10. Could he be a top 10 quarterback one day, improving on? Yes. But he reminds me so much of Baker, but he doesn't have the personality of Baker.
Mm-hmm.
But he reminds me a lot of Baker. He will be good for Washington, but he's not going to be a top 10 quarterback. But I feel like what they're looking for, he fits. So I go Sam Howell to Washington.
Okay. I mean, I don't like the pick, but it's whatever. Steelers. Oh, okay, hold on. Steelers. I have Malik Willis, quarterback. I have Malik Willis going as Pittsburgh. You honestly could put Carson Strong here too if you really wanted to. You could honestly put Strong.
No way you go Strong if you're Pittsburgh.
Wouldn't be surprising. I mean, again, we haven't seen a pro day yet, so obviously we can't really go off of anything. But I got Malik Willis going here to Pittsburgh to be their new franchise quarterback.
I think if you're Pittsburgh, you take every top 5 quarterback over Strong for one reason. Not because Strong's worse. It's because Strong has very bad issues. It's a very big concern right now. And with that concern, you cannot put him behind that offensive line. But so we literally had the exact same people. I had Malik going at 11 to Pittsburgh, and you had Malik going at 20. So it's the same thing.
Here, I mean, again, like I said, I think in future mock drafts, I'll have the Steelers trade up into the top 10 to grab Pickett. But I have them addressing their O-line here, and they're going to grab Kenyon Green.
Okay. So which pick are we going to do?
It's up to you guys. I mean, I guess we could just say Sam Howell because he's really the only guy up here.
All right. Patriots. This is a pick that I haven't seen a ton of people mock, but there's 2 guys here I think make sense. Drake London and Devin Lloyd. All right. The Patriots historically love their linebackers, makes sense for Devin Lloyd. And if you look at the wide receivers, you have some good, decent players, but you don't have that standout guy. And I think, honestly, if you look at that Bills game, if they would have had a tall receiver who can just throw it to and go get it, they would have had a better chance. Did they get blown out? Yes. But I think Drake London or Devin Lloyd make the most sense to New England here. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to say this real quick. I'm going to go Devin Lloyd because how stingy Bill Belichick is with wide receiver drafting. Nico.
My pick for New England. It really came down to one person, and I say it was the quick fire pick here. Jamison Williams, wide receiver, Alabama. I say Williams gets picked here. Yes, he's injured currently.
Did you already have Drake London going off the board?
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
I have.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Jamison Williams here, he is injured. He was projected to go a little bit higher than this, but that was before he got hurt, unfortunately. He's a phenomenal wide receiver when healthy, and I believe that in New England. Pair him up. Why not pair him up with Mac Jones? I mean, it's not – I don't know if they played with each other. I'm not too sure. Broad, you would know. Did Mac and Williamson play?
Mm-mm.
No, they did not. But you know what? It's the Bama love, roll tide. Give me Jamison Williams.
All right, Broad, who do you have going to Patriots?
So for me, I was really torn when making this pick between this guy and Roger McCreary, but I actually have Treylon Burks going right here.
Okay.
I think Williams getting injured, kind of like Mechie, where they got injured in the later games in the season, where I just think that their stock is going to drop.
All right, we'll go Treylon here. Okay, Vegas. In my opinion, with the whole Ruggs situation, they're going wide receiver here, in my opinion, right? Now it's up to your pick. I know Drake's the best one, but I feel like there's going to be weak because Vegas always reaches.
But
I'm going Jahan Dotson out of Penn State. They always reach. We're not going to – well, we could go the best pick, but Vegas, with how they've done, they always reach. Ruggs was a reach. Who'd they pick last year?
Leatherwood
Was a huge reach. I think they're going to go reach. Another reach could be George Pickens.
Love the Alabama guy.
George Pickens has injury concerns, and he could be a reach because he's a first-round guy without injuries. But I'm going to go to Jahan Dotson out of Penn State.
For Oakland here,
back over top.
Not Oakland, Las Vegas. I have them going Kenyon Green and offensive lineman. I think they need to restructure their own line. Colton Miller is the only guy that they have on that own line. Alex Leatherwood has been underperforming from the draft pick that he was chosen at last year. I say that, you know what? You have free agency. You have money. Devontae Adams is interested in signing because of Derek Carr. Why not? Why not get him? And I will be right back. Broad, you and I'll be back.
All right, Broad, go ahead.
And this is another one where we have three separate guys. I think right here they go with the guy to complement Max Crosby and Carl Nassib, and that is Trayvon Walker.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so we have a few picks. We're going to have to kind of stall on the Cardinals.
I would love to know how Sky Moore is ranked higher in Pro Football Focus than Jahan Dotson. I would love to know how that
I don't know. PFF's weird.
How that is even.
All right. Carolina is a team that is another one of those weird teams, kind of like the Saints, but they have a quarterback, maybe.
You mean Arizona?
Arizona, sorry. Arizona's a weird team this year for drafting because they could go a lot of places. So we'll go you first. Who do you think Arizona's going to go?
Right here, I have Andrew Booth.
Okay, we agree. Okay, cool.
Arizona?
Yeah, me and Broad both agreed on Andrew Booth Jr. out of Clemson, the corner.
I have them going to Philly. I have Trent McDuffie, cornerback, Washington. Okay, so basically, we all have the same position here, but I have Andrew Duffy.
I just think Booth is a great talent. I mean, my buddy played with him down at Clemson. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of Andrew Booth. He is a phenomenal corner.
Yeah. All right, now we got the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, you guys hate them. I do have them going Devin Lloyd out of Utah here. They lost Van Der Esch. They got Micah last year, but he does not play inside linebacker. I think Lloyd just makes sense. What do you make of that face for?
Because I don't think they've lost Leighton yet.
Well, I think isn't he a free agent this year?
Yes, but I see him more getting re-signed or playing on the franchise tag. I don't have them drafted.
He could, but even if they get back Van Der Esch, you still need depth at linebacker. I mean, you got Jabril Cox last year, who I think is a good talent out of LSU. But other than that, who do you have? I feel like Devin Lloyd makes sense for that defense because their pass rush was really good last year. Their corners, Trayvon, and they have nobody else. So you could go Trent McDuffie here out of Washington, but I'm going to go Devin Lloyd. Nico.
With Dallas here, I have them going offensive line, Zion Johnson.
Okay. Broad.
For me, I have them addressing the secondary, mainly their safety position, since that is their weak point. And they get Dax Hill out of Michigan.
Okay, so we all had different guys. Of course we did. So go here.
At this point, let's just put random people.
Buffalo. All right. I'm gonna go Trip McDuffie here. I'm gonna say this really quick. They have Tre'Davious White. I don't think the corner's the right pick here. Buffalo is a big quarters-heavy team, similar to Denver. And in quarters-heavy teams, as most people who watch football know, quarters-heavy teams, corners don't matter that much compared to safeties. You've seen what the safeties do for Buffalo with Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. So is Trent McDuffie going to make an immediate impact? No. But for that small time they run man, which they don't run man a lot, you have Tre'Davious White. Their other corner, who's their other corner, Nico? You know who he is.
Taron Johnson, Trey White.
Taron Johnson. He's going to get a big contract this year. I don't think he's going back to Buffalo. He's been pretty good. So I think you get Trent McDuffie here. He makes sense for me in Buffalo because other than pass rush, your D-line's pretty much, or your defense is pretty much perfect. But this is the one spot you can definitely fill in. Nico.
Now for the Buffalo Bills, I have Jermaine Johnson. I say that they really don't have anybody on that edge that's insanely crazy, in my opinion. Yes, they do have Ed Oliver. They do have Gregory Russo. But I would love them to add a guy like Jermaine Johnson who can bring that extra, extra heat and all that. Obviously, their pass defense is perfectly fine. Anything that they do in the pass defense is just going to be upgradable to what it already is now. But D-line and all that, they don't have a big name guy. Ed Oliver's maybe the biggest name they have on there, but they don't have a guy that that makes that much of an impact on the defensive end, like the defensive line end. So give me Jermaine Johnson.
All right, Broad. Who do you have going to Buffalo at 25?
I'm with you. I got Trent McDuffie.
All right, we both agree.
I'll let Dylan go. Oh, Dylan's already first anyways.
Dylan's first.
This is a weird pick. I haven't decided yet. I think there's so many people who can go here. I've seen edge mocks, which does not make sense to me. Drake London makes sense. Jameson Williams makes sense, even though Jameson's probably not going to play till later next year. And also quarterback makes sense because all these guys are developmental. I will go quarterback here, and I'll go to the one who makes the most sense for me, left. I like Ritter. I like Strong. But for our offense, I think Corral makes the most sense. I like Corral. I like Ritter too, by the way. I don't dislike Ritter. But Tannehill's cap hit goes down to $4 million next year, and then $3 million the year after that. This year's his last big cap hit year. And he's not the guy. And I think you could hit on the guy with this pick because you have three guys, Strong, Corral, and Ritter, who could all be the guy in the future if they sit for 1 to 2 years. So I'm going to go Corral here out of Mississippi. Nico, who do you have going to Tennessee?
Well, from listening to you watching Titans games, I always hear the one thing and the one thing only is I hate Rashaan Evans. And I have Nakobe Dean being drafted here to the Tennessee Titans. I have Nakobe Dean falling majorly. You might not agree with it, but I do like Nakobe Dean going to Tennessee.
I don't agree for the simple reason we just signed Zach Cunningham. That's why I don't agree.
But Zach Cunningham, he was on a 1-year deal though, right?
No, he has 3 years of his contract.
Oh yeah, well, Rashaan Evans is going to most likely.
Rashaan Evans is walking anyway. Anyway, Broad.
Because I have Nakobe Dean going to the Philadelphia Eagles, I have Devin Lloyd here.
Okay, so 2 linebackers, even though we don't need them. Let's go, man. All right, love that. I've also seen a lot of tackle mocks here because we're probably cutting both of our right tackles, but not the point. We'll corral here. All right, Tampa.
This is interesting.
Drake London is a copy and paste of Mike Evans, in my opinion, but Carson Strong, man, I think he's not exactly, but he's a pocket passer. He kind of fits Tampa because it's exactly what they built around with Brady. They can build around with Carson Strong. If he doesn't have the cartilage issue, he is the best quarterback in this draft. I don't care. He had a cartilage issue, which hurt his stock. Go watch Carson Strong, the Nevada film, and you will understand. Carson Strong, if he can stay healthy, will be a good quarterback in the NFL. His comps are very similar to Stafford. He's not mobile, but he has one of the best arms in the draft. He's already extremely accurate. He already knows how to make reads, and he already has good pocket presence. If he stays healthy, Tampa getting Carson Strong will be a steal at 27. Nico.
Yeah, so next for the Buccaneers, it's kind of surprising I don't have quarterback at all. I have Mr. Khair Elam, cornerback. Secondary was awful this year. Jamal Deem, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Richard Sherman, who's washed. Kair Elm seems like the more logical pick here. Your run defense is already phenomenal. Why not make that pass defense just a little bit better? Obviously, a young corner is not going to help, but it's going to give them depth. It's going to give them young guys. Jamal Dean and Sean Murphy-Bunting were playing injured this year most of the time. So why not, like I said, give Kair Elm a chance? And I say Kair Elm is the pick here.
All right, Broad. Who's Tampa taking?
So I disagree with the Carson Strong pick, mainly because they drafted Kyle Trask last year.
Yeah.
Kair Elam, I could see him going here. But for me right here, because we don't know what's going on with Chris Godwin, I have my guy Jahan Dotson from Penn State going to Tampa.
Okay.
Not a bad
pick. Did I take him? Yeah, he already went to Vegas for me. But so I'll just go quarterback since Jahan Dotson's already gone. But again, Jahan Dotson to Tampa for Broad. This one is honestly pretty clear. Now, will Green Bay do it? I don't know. But I think Rodgers stays in Green Bay. Okay. And I think what you need for him is, I think what fits him so much is you have to go what everyone's been saying you have to go for the last few years. I think you go either the big Mike Evans type build, Drake London, or you go the kind of wild card here, Jameson Williams. I'm going to go with the speedster Williams here. In my opinion, Drake London could be up here. You have to get Rodgers weapons. You can't keep on spending third-round picks on Clemson wide receivers and just hoping they're going to pan out. You have Devontae Adams. That's wonderful. But if you're going to keep Rodgers happy, you have to give him another target because I think it showed at the end of last year. You had Adams, Tanyan towards ACL, and after Tanyan's gone, he doesn't really have anybody. I mean, Valdez-Scantling's decent. Lazard's decent. Cobb was actually pretty good last year, but he needs another guy. And I think London or Williams makes most sense, but I'm going to go Williams at Alabama.
With this next pick here, I do have a wide receiver too, but it is actually neither Drake or Jameson. They're both gone on my mock. It is Mr. George Pickens, wide receiver. I think George Pickens is
reach.
It's a bit of a reach, yes. But in my mock draft, where I feel like these wide receivers are going to leave, I see George Pickens being probably the best available one for them.
I'm so scared of Tennessee getting Pickens because we always have a history of drafting injury-ridden college players, and that is what Pickens is. If Pickens wasn't hurt as much as he was, I think Pickens would be a little higher regarded. But anyway, Broad, what is your pick for the Green Bay Packers?
I got Drake London.
All right. So we all wide receiver here, but all different positions. We'll go London here. Williams will fall.
We all have wide receivers, but all different positions.
All different players, not positions. You know what I'm saying. All right. Now, Miami. This is a weird pick, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it.
I have receiver, but what about you guys?
I have tackle.
I want to say receiver, and I think honestly, Drake London goes here, but they just took a first-round receiver last year. So it's a little iffy if you want to spin back-to-back picks. I'll go Kair Elam, though. I think it – no. What am I talking about? He's not going corner Miami. Sorry, go ahead.
Kair Elam.
Actually, Broad, go ahead. While I think about this for a second. I didn't have Miami mocked up.
Here, I have a wide receiver that really no one has talked about, David Bell.
Oh, I love David Bell.
I love David Bell, too. He was a stud at Purdue, especially if you watched his Iowa game. I think he's a great receiver.
There's his Iowa.
And I think he fits perfect in Miami.
Okay, Nico, who do you have going to Miami?
For me, the thing is, man, Dolphins, they got Will Fuller. They have Devontae Parker. They have Jalen Waddle, Gesicki,
Gesicki's gone.
Miles Gaskin.
Think Gesicki leaves? I don't think so.
He's going to get some stupid money.
Here's the thing. What have I not mentioned in their offense is offensive line. Their offensive line is awful.
Yeah.
Horrible. I say it's bottom 3, bottom 2 maybe. I have them going Darion Kennard, offensive tackle. He's a little bit of a reach. He's a early second round projection, but he's perfectly fine with being picked up in the late first round. He's the best fit. That's where you're gonna have to start. If you guys want to start building that offensive line, build it from Mr. Kennard and just build it up from there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Trevor Penning out of Northern Iowa. The reason I'm saying this is you could go Kenyon Green out of Texas A&M. the reason I know Northern Iowa is a smaller school, but you need, again, like Nico said, the O-line is just bad. And you can really everywhere. I know they got Leon Eichenberg last year, but I feel like anywhere you go here on O-line is going to be an upgrade. So I'm going to go Trevor Pitting here out of Northern Iowa. But again, anywhere on the O-line, I think for Miami makes sense. Kansas City. Broad.
I have Jameson Williams here.
You think he falls to KC?
I do. I think mainly because it's like weird the way I'm going to phrase it, but his injury is the freshest out of all the receivers compared to like John Mechie. And I mean, they have guys who do their jobs when they need to do it, like Byron Pringle, like Mecole Hardman and Demarcus Robinson. So he doesn't need to be thrown in right away, but they still do need some depth at the receiver position.
Okay. Nico, do you want me to go? You want me to go? Do you want to go? Do you want me to go?
I'll just go. To me personally, that defense, they're gonna lose Melvin Ingram in free agency this year because they're not gonna re-sign him because their money they're starting to get into that cap space where it ain't too good for them. I have Drake Jackson edge. I think honestly they can make him into what Melvin Ingram was for them, and they could create that pressure. I mean, pressure. Melvin Ingram really helped out Kansas. Not really helped out, but he kind of gave a little more help to Kansas City's D line. Just take some pressure off of Chris Jones, Frank Clark. So give me Drake Jackson with this pick.
I'm gonna go Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State. I think it would be a steal to get him at 30. I think he is a very good edge this year. I think if you lose Melvin Ingram, or if you don't, Melvin Ingram is older, or you can put him on the other side. You just need edge help in general. I think if you can start pressuring the quarterback, you give your corners opportunities. Obviously, Casey's issue, other than maybe like the second half of the Bengals game, has always been D-line, other than Chris Jones. So I go Jermaine Johnson here. So yeah. Now, we all should consensus have one position group with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes.
I'm going Kenyon Drake at A&M. He's the best O-lineman, in my opinion, available. And you just take the best one available because no matter where you go on the O-line, you need it for the Bengals.
I don't even have them going O-line.
I haven't going O-line.
Wait. What?
I think that they're going to pick up O-line in free agency. That's the thing. That's my
They need 5 O-line. 4. Quentin Spain's not that bad. They need 4 O-line.
Joe Burrow was sacked 19 times.
9 by Tennessee. 10. What wasn't it like 10 by LA?
7.
Who got the? Oh, probably like the Chiefs.
And you know what?
I think the Chiefs got.
Chiefs only got like 1 or maybe 0. They didn't get a lot.
Yeah, and then the Raiders got 1 or 2.
All right, yeah. But let's be realistic. Yeah. I mean, they're going up against Jeffrey Simmons, Donald.
Well, I'm not saying it's a bad pass rushes, but you still can't let up. What was that? 16 sacks in 2 games.
Also, the 7 sacks that they gave up is tied for the most ever in the Super Bowl.
And the 9 against Tennessee was tied for the most ever in a playoff game.
That was the most ever.
No, he was tied.
I think
Donovan McNabb was sacked 9 times in a playoff game.
I think McNabb only had 8.
I thought it was 9. Maybe
I think here they go to defense. And I'll just say this. Yes, they need a line, but obviously free agency comes before this. So I think they're going to make moves in free agency to where they don't have to spend their first round pick immediately on an all-lineman, but they could maybe wait, second, third round. I have Roger McCreary, cornerback. We saw in that Super Bowl what was going on in the cornerback. I mean, everybody in their secondary, not safety-wise, Von Bell and Jesse Bates are valid. But guys like Eli Apple. Not done yet.
Well, let's not act like Eli Apple is that bad. Mike Hilton left the first
game.
Their whole corner group is not that talented. Well, it's not bad. Their corner group's kind of overhated, if I'm honest. But if you're the Bengals, you have to go O-line almost the whole draft. I'm going Kenyon Green. Broad, I know you said you take on O-line. Who? O-line?
Trevor Penning.
Oh, okay, so I went him. He picks what? Yeah,
I have an interesting thing for the Lions, but I'll let you go first.
All right, final pick: the Detroit Lions. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Right.
So you guys already had him like way up in the mock draft, but because of his injury in the Sugar Bowl, I think his stock falls. And at 32, Matt Corral goes to the Lions.
Okay. Nico.
Just like Broad, I do have a quarterback. He's
You've
not
Ritter.
currently on that board, and he was picked a little bit earlier. I have Carson Strong.
So we're all going quarterback.
God,
I think
Desmond
Goff is
Ridder.
serviceable. Could you go and keep Goff for another year? Sure. But I think with all these quarterbacks, it's a perfect year for the Lions to take a quarterback because every quarterback should sit. Desmond Ritter's here. He's better than Bailey
Zappy,
not Zappe, my bad.
God, Dylan.
No one here is really worth this pick, but you need a developmental quarterback. I am going Desmond Ridder here.
I could see them trading.
I would love to hear who's going to draft Jack Cohn.
The only thing though is I will say for this Lions pick, this is the one pick would not shock me if they traded back just to get more capital. That's it.
But if you, I'm just going to take him. But if we're going honest here, if you trade back,
also what they got from Matthew Stafford. So
but if you trade back, you're not getting a lot of capital. All right.
Yeah. True.
There's the picks. Obviously, we already went over all these. Some of these were different for different people. But Nico.
I love how David Ajabo is the only one here who doesn't have a picture.
Is he actually?
Not?
It's just the Michigan logo.
Where is he? Oh yeah.
Oh, Trayvon Walker only has the.
Oh, and Trevor Penning.
Well,
that's weird.
Thank you guys all for watching. This is going to be the first out of 5 mock drafts we'll do. The final mock draft will be right about maybe a day or two before the draft, maybe 3 or 4 days. But yeah, thank you, Broad, for coming on. You'll probably be on a lot of these just because your college brain is bigger than mine. And yeah, so if you guys want to know where Broad is, make sure you guys go follow him. I'll put down your link and everything in the description below. And yes, thank you guys all for watching and have a good day.